Hey everyone! The mid lane meta is filled with melee champions right now like Irelia, Aatrox, and Akali. Once they get level 6, it can be really hard to deal with them as their ults make solo kills easy. So in this video, we're going to be showing you the best strategy early on to get an early lead versus them. To do this, we're going to be analyzing gameplay from Gen G Fly and Korean Challenger. As usual, let's break down the matchup. Fly is playing LeBlanc versus Knight, the former rank 1 mid laner in Korea, on Irelia. LeBlanc has more range, more burst damage, and more wave control. When it comes to melee vs range matchups, wave clear isn't as big of a deal because melee champions shouldn't be able to use their wave clear without getting punished. So in this case, Irelia does have more wave clear than LeBlanc, but doesn't really matter since she's ranged. And finally, Irelia wins in extended trades. Knowing this, let's make a game plan. Mission 1, slow push the wave. Getting a slow push is easy in melee vs range matchups, you just need to get any kind of push lead, which should come naturally, then last hit. Mission 2, harass when they go for CS. This is a staple mission for good reason. Harassing them when they go for CS is the easiest way to land skill shots, it can make them miss the last hit. Mission 3, punish accordingly. With the addition of turret plating, we have a few different options on how to snowball with the health lead we should have. It could be solo kills, tower gold, or just making them recall from being too low. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. As laning starts, Irelia is playing pretty far back, which is standard. She wants to avoid any harass from Fly right now. Fly doesn't need to do anything yet because for a slow push you only need a small push lead. If we look at the minions, 2 red ones are low and 1 blue one is low. Fly knows Irelia is going to go for this, so instead of autoing these 2 minions, he uses his W to get them and harass at the same time for missions 1 and 2. And after that, looking at the minions again, you should be able to tell that a slow push will start soon because Fly has 1 more minion than Irelia, and one of the red minions is really low. Like I said, it's very simple and it should come naturally from harassing. The next wave is arriving now, so Fly is going to focus on a few last hits while the wave stacks up. While doing that though, Irelia uses her E to grab a last hit. Pay attention to LeBlanc's movement right after that happens. She suddenly gets really aggressive and walks straight towards Irelia. There are 2 reasons for this. 1, Irelia can't trade back if LeBlanc W's in like we saw in the first trade. And 2, LeBlanc is 1 minion away from hitting level 2, so he's positioning himself to punish if Irelia doesn't back off and respect it. As expected, Irelia doesn't give Fly any openings, but this kind of movement before you hit level 2 will easily catch lower elo players off guard. Now Fly is just going to collect a CS and push the wave into the tower. As the wave crashes, Fly hits Irelia with a Q and an auto for mission 2. Something super important and super simple about this to take note of though. He doesn't just use Q, he autos as well. Autos should be a big portion of your early harass in these kinds of matchups. I know it sounds obvious, but after the latest batch of user reviews, we saw that the players rarely use their auto text to harass, even though the players were ranked from gold to diamond. Anyways, the third wave is here now, which is the wave you want the slow push to crash. If you only last hit like Fly did so far, this should happen by itself. The main reason you want the wave to crash on the third and not the second is that the third wave has a cannon, meaning you will get more tower damage and a longer window to harass. Fly sees a blue minion getting low, so he moves up ready to punish. Irelia uses Q to the minion, so Fly uses an auto, then Q and W to proc electrocute, then another auto for 50% of Irelia's health. Irelia tried to use her Q to dodge the LeBlanc W since she knew it was coming, but didn't do it in time. After that, Fly collects the CS while waiting for his cooldowns. Shaco tries to gank, but he only has red buffs, so this would never work, unless Fly was really low. But he finishes grabbing all the CS and the wave starts to crash on the tower. A few of the blue minions are already low, so Fly positions himself yet again to harass as soon as Irelia uses Q to get it. He uses Q to mark him since he's about to go for this cannon minion, but Irelia waits for the Q to fall off, then jumps to the cannon just in time to get it, then uses her W trying to predict the LeBlanc burst. This was a pretty smart play from Knight, predicting Fly would W in right as he got the cannon. I'm not sure the exact reason Fly didn't W in, he's either a 200 IQ player and knew Irelia would do that, or he didn't want to W on top of Irelia as the mark was falling off. Irelia gets really greedy here though and goes for all the minions even though her W is down and she's around 60% health. Fly keeps going and follows up with a QW, then when Knight dashes in, Fly lands his chain, follows up with Ignite, and gets first blood. That seemed pretty easy, but 99% of players wouldn't have got this kill, and here's why. If we rewind and slow it down when he uses W, look at the angle he uses it. He W's so the edge hits Irelia still, but away from the minions, so when Irelia dashes in, there are no minions to block the chain from landing. Pretty clean play right there. Alright, after he gets the kill, he crashes the wave on the tower and recalls. When he gets back to lane, the wave is pushing to him, and I'm sure some of you are wondering how Fly should go about mission 1 when in a situation like this. The most important thing to understand is that you just can't go in and use abilities to get your wave pushing, then start the slow push again, because this situation is one of the best times for the enemy mid to look for an all-in or extended trade, since they have so many minions behind them. If you go in, you risk dying and losing a huge wave pushing to you to the tower. You want to let the wave push, bounce it off the tower, then start the slow push again. We can see a perfect example of what I was talking about in a few seconds here. Knight uses Q on a minion and lands a stun on Fly, then goes in. Fly uses W to get back to his tower, but gets chunked pretty hard. So Fly almost died even though he uses his W defensively, so imagine if he used it offensively or on the wave like I was talking about. Fly sits back waiting for his potions to kick in, and Shaco shows up to gank. Shaco only uses his E, which slows Fly, and then Knight flashes in using Q and Ignite to try and catch Fly off guard. Luckily, Lee shows up and uses his W to save him. Honestly, this was an amazing damage calculation from Knight. 99% of players would die to that, including me. Fly got really lucky here, because if he died, he would have lost this huge wave to the tower and his lane would have been completely thrown. Even though they would both be 1-1, Fly would be way behind because Irelia made it back to lane to catch the wave after she died. Lee helps Fly clear the wave, then it resets back to the middle.